All right, so I told you that I would start working on more of the content pieces of Canvas today. And so we're going to break down the module on what is a module and what it consists of in this video. So I am in my course right now, and these are our homepage, and we have our modules set as our homepage. And so what modules really are just like our units, and we have them broken down week by week. And I would suggest keeping it that way because that's how we're going to unfold things for this this term. So, for example, these are each one module, and then to open them up, you click this little arrow, and it drops down the things in that module. So I'm going to keep that part closed right now, and this part would just go from not published to published. So if I want to say, yep, it's ready to go, I want people to see it, I just click on that. If I unclick it, it's unpublished, so people cannot see it. Here's if I want to add something to my module, and then over here, I can edit. So if I want to change what this says instead of just template week 1, I can say like storyboarding week 1, whatever my content is. Now I can lock things as well. So I can like unlock the module at a certain time or a certain date. So maybe I want to unlock this one on May 4th at 8 a.m. And then it will automatically unlock at that point. I can also add prerequisites in, which would mean like if I want them to complete a certain module before this, you have to add requirements for that to happen. And so if you are wanting to do that, like more of a self-paced model, let me know and I will do a separate video on that. And then same thing with requirements. Now, if you've seen like in climbing the mountain and things like that, where it has the check marks on the right-hand side, that's because I've added requirements in. So to get those green check marks to come up when they've done something, you need to add requirements. And so I can walk you through that too if that's a piece that you're interested in. Okay, so that's in these green dots. Also in here, I can move my content. So if I want to move the things inside that module, I can move things here. I can also show you a quicker way. Also moving my module. So if I want to move this like at the top first or before or after this template or after week 2, if I just click on that, it'll move it. Now I really don't want this. If there's another way you can do it too, you can just slide them. Click and drag. All right, you can also delete a module. You can share it to Commons, which will put it into the Commons area, which I'll make another video on that later. And then you can add it to your Commons favorites as well. All right, so that's kind of this area with the 3 dots over here. Now to open up my module, we're going to talk about each piece that you can have in here. So I have different pieces already put in for you, and you can change any of these at any point. Just make sure we're following that Excel model. So like the first one I have up here, this is a discussion topic. So you can see that it has those kind of that chat feature. That just means it's a discussion. Down here, this is a page. This is another page. This is another page. This is an assignment. This is an assignment. This is a quiz. So I can kind of tell by the icons as well. All right. So over here on this right-hand side with this plus, I can add different things. So the first thing that I can add is an assignment. So if I want something with a specific due date that I want them to turn in, or I want to actually grade it, that's what I would put in as an assignment. And so if I do an assignment, I'll actually make a video on each one of these, so I'm just going to go through these. Also, here's a quiz, so you can do either graded or non-graded quizzes or surveys in here too, and you can have them self-grade as well and give options so not every kid gets the same type of quiz. You can also upload files directly to your templates as well. You can add pages, which would be kind of like the way you would deliver your content, which would not be anything that would require them to turn in. Text header, I don't really use these too often because if they're in the module itself and they just click next, they don't see these text headers. But sometimes it's just nice to be able to separate things like, hey, this is this part, this is this part, when they're in the module side, when they're looking at the module itself. An external URL, that would be if you're just going to hyperlink an external page. So if, let's say, I was going to hyperlink a CNN article or something, I could just type or click that URL in there, and then what I want to name the page. So what you want them to see. And then you do not have to necessarily load it in a new tab. You can if you want to, if you want to have 2 different tabs open up top. And then indentions. Okay, the other option I have is an external tool. So we have some tools already built in to Canvas, and if there's something that you're looking for, you can add, you can ask us if it's available. So for example, let's say I have CK12 that I want to link. I can have things that are in CK12 that automatically go into my gradebook in Canvas. So let's say I have astronomy, and I'm going to go for high school. I can add certain pieces in. So let's say I want this piece and I want them to read this. I can then link it by creating an assignment. So now it tells me which the URL is, and then I just add that item, and it's going to go at the bottom. So right now it's not published, but if I click on this, it's going to pull up that exact piece that I want them to do. So that's pretty nice when you have different features that you want to have in there. Now, I'm going to go back in here. Now, I really don't want this, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. So I'm going to go to remove. All right, so you can always go in over here, and like I said, you can remove things, you can move things. Now, if I want to, for example, let's say I added something. I'm going to add one more piece here. I'm going to add a page. And let's say I'm going to say lesson 1, whatever it is, okay? Now, on my screen, what I have included are icons as well. So I'm going to show you how to do that too, so then it just stays consistent. So if I click on this, and I can do it when I'm creating it too, and go up to edit. Up at the top part, what you do is on your MacBook, you will hold the control button down, the command button down, and the space bar down. And that's going to bring up your emoticon keyboard. So if I can just type in, like this was my communicates, this was the teacher piece, and I can drag that in. Oops, put it in the wrong spot. There we go. And then I can just put whatever I needed to in here and save it. So those are just a few overview. That's just a quick overview of modules. If you have any questions on that, please let me know.